Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining today. As people log in and get settled, if you don't mind doing a quick sound check for me, just confirming you can hear me, see my screen, all of that. And while you're logging in, I'd love to hear where you're joining from. I think that's always fun to see, and perhaps what programs you're interested in. Nice. We got in Arlington, Virginia, not far. Thanks for joining. New York, awesome. Also not too far. New York, also San Francisco, still pretty early there. Another Virginia, love it. Local, Virginia, Nebraska, cool. Awesome. Wonderful. Okay. Well, looks like you can hear me, which is great. That's the important part. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'll intro and tell you about what we're doing here tonight. But feel free to continue chatting and where you're from because I think it's fun. So my name is Amanda Weiner. I'm the assistant dean on our team. I've been with our team for over 10 years now, in various capacities. So right now, what I do is I'm in charge of the admissions committee. I'm in charge of our operations team, and I get to read applications, interview, and all of that. So I'm an excellent person to guide you through the application workshop that we'll go over today, because that's my world, and I love to talk about it and help people craft a competitive application. So tonight, we will start with just that, the application workshop. Again, guiding you through the application, letting you know how we evaluate each component, and giving you tips. Then we'll transition to more of a program overview, information on the Career Center. So we'll talk more high level, like the curriculum, who we are, that kind of thing. We will have a student panel later, so joined by a couple students, and then finally leave some time for a question and answer. So as we go through tonight, please feel free to chat in your questions. You can use the Q&A feature. You can use the chat like you're using now. Another one from DC. Y'all need to come visit us. You guys are local. Let's make it happen. So we'll keep it moving tonight. A lot of information coming your way, but hopefully can answer your questions about the program, the application process. One thing I realized I just forgot to mention is that I am just finishing up my Flex MBA online program. So I decided to take the leap myself a couple years ago. I will be graduating in May. I finished my coursework a couple months ago, so just waiting around for graduation at this point. So I will weave in my experiences here too, as a student, and happy to share any insights there, although I haven't seen anybody interested in the Flex Online program yet. So we'll talk more about full-time if that's the case. But fun fact, I can give you both student and staff perspective tonight. All right, so let's dive in. So we take a holistic application approach to our application review process. So what that means is that we look at everything together. We look at your entire application package to understand if you are ready for the MBA program. So as an admissions committee team member, what I'm thinking about when I'm looking at your application, for example, on the academic piece, I'm trying to find all of the pieces of evidence to say, this is why this person is qualified to join us in the classroom. So that might come from your professional work experience. It might come from a test score. It might come from your undergraduate or maybe a graduate degree. So all of it comes together to create this picture of, can this person handle the academics? Can this person will they be competitive for post-MBA opportunities and internships? And is this someone who would be wonderful on a team from a student experience standpoint? You know, would you want to work with them late nights on some of those group projects and be in your network post-MBA? So we like to think of it in two different components. So we talk about the quantitative aspects of the program and then also the qualitative. So the quantitative aspects of the program certainly being your test score, your academic history, and then the quantity of your work experience. So we'll dive into each of these components to start. I see we do have flex person, which is great. Awesome. So academic history, biggest thing to remember here is that it's more than just your GPA, right? So certainly that is a number people lock in on. That's kind of the most top of mind number, I think, when people think of their undergraduate experience. But know that we are looking at the entire transcript, right? So we're digging into the details. We're looking at all of your coursework. We are considering things like what were the quantitative classes that you took in undergrad? We want to know your major, your institution, thinking about your progression throughout the program. So many of your peers come to us and say, oh, it took me a minute to adjust to undergrad. I had a rough first semester, but then they bounce back and they carry on. Or perhaps something happened during your undergraduate. Maybe there was a medical issue or something going on in your family that hurt your performance. That's not uncommon. And we see that and understand that, right? It's more about that full, again, the full picture, all 4 years that you've got there to understand your academic history. Other things that we consider, yeah, certainly anything else going on that would be competing for your time during that time. So if you were working full time, definitely see people who had to support themselves through college. And obviously that would impact your undergraduate performance as well sometimes. So you've got that optional essay to give us that context, give us that information if you need to. The biggest thing I hear from people is that they don't want to make excuses and they don't want it to come off that way. And I think truly, if you're reflecting on your time and say, this is what I'm going to do differently, or this is what was going on during that time, it's not going to sound like an excuse. It's just giving us that full context of understanding everything that was going on because you're an entire person. Certainly, your academics, what's going on in your personal life is going to have an impact on that. So, we want all of that information, if you're comfortable sharing, to let us know what was going on during that time and how that would have affected your academics. Again, keying in on those quantitative classes. So if you are someone who was an English major, maybe you didn't take a lot of quantitative classes. I talk to a lot of people who say, gosh, I didn't know when I was 19 that I'd want to come to business school. So I took the one math class I had to, and then I moved on with my life. And that's totally normal. So there are a lot of people who will look at the class profile later. You're not alone in that. And in that case, again, that's where we're looking at those other indicators in your application to understand if you are ready for the academics of the program. So looking at your test score, we are looking at any additional certificates you've done. We are looking at what you do in your professional career. So are you using quant skills there? So again, looking at those other pieces of evidence, if you will, to make a case for why you do well in the classroom. And again, that's also where if you were maybe a finance major and you took a ton of quant classes, in that case, then there might be less weight on your test score, for example. So that cues it up well. Let's talk about the test scores. Everyone's favorite part, I know. So we take the GMAT, GRE, and the executive assessment, all of them, no preference. The preference is the one that you will do best on. So for some people, that's the GRE. For some people, that's the GMAT. For some people, that's the executive assessment. That's all good. Again, test scores are one data point. So like we just talked about, for that English major, hypothetically, your test score, there might be more weight on that because we have less data points, less evidence telling us your quantitative skills. If you're a finance major, might be a different story. If you're a finance major who didn't do well in undergrad, again, then it's a different story. So it's hard to give a magic formula to how to be accepted in the program. But here you want to focus on the range, I'll say, for the test scores. So you might fall above it, you might fall below it. But again, one data point. We do have a test score waiver policy. So I'd reference our website for that. If you look at it, I think it's pretty clear, in my opinion at least, but if not, please let me know. Who would qualify for a waiver. If you're a full-time student or a full-time applicant, you want to submit a form. So we evaluate it and say, yep, you qualify for the waiver, move forward. And if you are a Flex MBA online student, you don't have to submit the form. You just apply if you think you're qualified. What it comes down to is your undergraduate GPA, again, the quantitative classes that you took, as well as your professional accomplishments. So, for example, if you're a CPA, CFA, that kind of thing, those quantitatively rigorous certificates are things that we consider as well. So check that out online. I don't have the requirements here in the presentation, but check that out. Other thing to note, I didn't see any international locations listed, but if you are an international student, so I won't dig too much into this, you may have to submit an English proficiency exam. All right, and then years of work experience. So for our program, the average is about 5 years of post-undergraduate work experience, but certainly there's a range. So on the low end, we see about 2 years, higher end around 8, give or take a little. That's that sweet spot for where our employers are looking to hire post-MBA talent. So that's the type of profile that they're looking for. So again, that's kind of aligns with our profile. So, in terms of your work experience, we'll talk about your resume, all of that. But in terms of calculating it, we are looking at post MBA, post undergrad, full-time paid experience when we're calculating that number. So, caveat, I will say sometimes we'll get people who are non-traditional applicants. Maybe they completed their undergraduate degree later on in life. They worked for a little while. I see that a lot with like military applicants, for example. They joined, got their degree when they weren't like deployed and that kind of thing. So do know that even if that work experience isn't going to that actual like number in your application where it quantifies your experience, it's certainly still valuable and we will still evaluate it. So internally, we'll be saying, okay, well, this person actually has, 8 years of work experience, for example, even though they only got their degree like 3 years ago. So do know that that experience is not irrelevant. It's still important and we will evaluate it. It just won't come through in that number. So don't be alarmed by that. All right. Quick version. That was it in terms of the quantitative aspects. So let's talk about the qualitative, shall we? All right. First up, we've got the recommendation letter. So recommendation letter, the intention here is to understand who you are as a professional. So for us, we want a current or previous supervisor. So strongly encouraged for the Flex MBA program, it is required that it's a current supervisor. The intention there is that we want to make sure that they're supportive of the MBA journey. So we don't want them saying, oh, this is too much demand on your time. We don't think you can do your job well, and discourage you from doing it, quite honestly. So we want to know that they're going to be on board and support you through the program. When you're picking someone to do your recommendation letter, think about a couple things here. Make sure they have the time. Make sure you prep them, let them know the deadlines, when it needs to be in, that kind of thing. Coach them on any weak points you might want to address, any strengths you want to highlight in your application, your intentions with the MBA, what is your goal, letting them know why you're pursuing it. And certainly, in our opinion, the content much more important than the recommender title. So I've definitely seen people who have, I've definitely seen people who've asked, someone from the C-suite, someone who's several levels above, like their direct supervisor, and those people often don't have time to write a thoughtful recommendation letter, or it's someone they don't know you very well. So to us, that's not a useful recommendation. We want someone who's really in the weeds with you, who's in that nitty-gritty day-to-day and knows your strengths, your areas of improvement, that kind of thing. All right, the essays. So this is really where your personality comes through in your application. So we have 3 different written essay options. You only have to pick one. We do this strategically so that you can pick the one that resonates best with you and highlights the story that you want to share. So for some people, they like to share a professional example. So they might gravitate towards achieving excellence and say, this was this amazing project I worked on. I was a leader here. I was really excited about it. And that's what they want to talk about. For other people, I've seen really awesome essays about like their family's background, where they came from, and how that shapes like their values and what they'll bring to the Georgetown community. So maybe that Georgetown community resonates with them. So it's up to you kind of what story you want to tell. You could go professional, you could go personal, you could talk about like volunteer experience that you do. But the idea here again is giving you that flexibility so that you can really shine in that written essay based on what you want to tell us. With the video essay, people, I'll say, tend to get stressed about this one, but don't overthink it. You can film it just like this on the Zoom screen. 1 minute, truly want to know what has brought you joy recently. I've seen awesome videos about people talking about their pets, trips they've gone on. They'll highlight, like show us souvenirs that they've gotten from their trips. I've seen people in the kitchen making the perfect cup of coffee and the perfect cup of tea. So again, don't overthink it. What I love about the video essay, and especially this prompt this year, is that I think when someone truly talks about something that brings them joy, they light up. And I find that really energizing and really fun. So again, this is where your personality comes through. You as a person, it brings kind of a different dimension to you, right? So tell us what's brought you joy. It's been so much fun watching these this year. I've really enjoyed it. Oh, and then the optional essay. So we talked about it earlier with the academic piece, but let me address it again here. So the optional essay, please don't feel obligated to fill it out. You don't have to. It's to fill in those gaps, connect the dots, if you will, on different parts of your application. So areas where I see you frequently are academic situations. Again, was there something going on during your undergrad that impacted your performance? I have seen people use it for same kind of thing with professional paths, if you will. So maybe you work a different type of industry. I've seen people who like they work in an industry where they have multiple different contracts. So they say, my work experience might look choppy, but actually this is how it is in my industry. I was essentially, employed this entire time or what have you. So use that for maybe those missing pieces that you think there might be in your application, but don't feel like you have to fill it out. You can also just do bullet points. So if you have multiple things to hit, you can totally do that. I've seen people do that as well, where they say, I picked a previous supervisor because my current one has only known me for 3 months. And also, by the way, XYZ. So totally fun to do bullet points. Doesn't have to be like a full in-depth optional essay if you have a lot of points to hit. All right, awesome. So resume, so work experience part two, if you will. This is the quality of your work experience. So on your resume, definitely quantify your successes, your accomplishments, like we mentioned there. Talk about those highlights. Certainly, we want to know what you do. That's important. We're not experts in every single industry out there, every single company. So great to understand, what you do, what your title means, that kind of thing. But definitely show us your progression that you've had in your career. If you've been promoted, make sure you highlight that. Make sure we can see that growth that you've had. Let us know the impact you've had at your company. What are those big projects you led? How many are you managing people? Are you mentoring people? All great things to highlight to help us understand what you've been doing. The professional experience certainly, obviously, a big component to the program. We're looking for people who've been in their career for a few years, maybe again around that 5-year mark is what we're looking for. So we want to understand what you'll bring back to the classroom experience when we are having those classroom conversations, and also how we can help you develop as a leader. Are you at that point in your career where we can make an impact and help you based off of what we offer in the program? All right, and then finally the interview. So interview, you can be invited to interview. We'll talk about the workflow in a minute, but you can be invited to interview by our team. Interviews are done by staff, current students, or alumni. No matter what, it's the same process. It is the same 30-minute kind of behavioral interview where you get to determine mutual fit. So you get to understand if this program is right for you. Make sure you ask us questions too to understand, round out your research. But it's also for us to understand who you'd be as a student. So again, thinking about what you would bring to the classroom experience, thinking about will you be competitive for post MBA opportunities and internships? And then also, again, is this someone you'd want to be on a team with? Is this someone you would want in your network? So prepare just like you would a job interview. Think about the obvious questions that we would ask you. I know there are line by line posts and things out there where they say what questions they were asked. So you've got no excuses. You can totally prepare for our interview and anybody else's truly. Be yourself. Yeah, have fun with it. Again, I know there's always some nerves with these, but do relax. We're trying to get to know you again and understand if this program is the right one for you. So again, prepare with your accomplishments. Think about great projects you can highlight in your interview. Think of those obvious questions. We're going to ask you why Georgetown, so prepare for it. Think it through, do the research. And yeah, we offer virtual or in person. Honestly, it's which one is better for you, most convenient. We offer those options strategically. Sometimes you can't travel in person to every single interview, and that's okay. All right, after you click submit. So I like to highlight this piece to help you understand what we're doing. I know sometimes the waiting period can feel like a long time. So what this means, what we do after you click submit, what will happen is that our operations team will evaluate your application to make sure we have what we need. PDFs load weird sometimes. You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes it'll be as simple as like, hey, your name wasn't on this document. Can you resubmit it? So we'll get in touch with you, figure that out. And then after that, once your application is definitely complete, we pass it out to the admissions committee. We have multiple sets of eyes on every single file. So do know that's why it takes some time, right? We're very thorough with our applications. We have multiple people look at it, and that's why it takes some time. So after an initial review of your application, you can be invited to interview with our team. Those go on for a while, and then after that, the admissions committee looks at everything together with that interview and makes the final decision, which will be released on the published date. That's always published on our website. From there, it's your turn to make a decision. So then you get to decide if Georgetown is the right fit for you, and then you would submit your deposit again on the deadline that's published on our website. All right, the class profile. So I said we'd talk about this later, so here it is. So for our full-time MBA program, this is the most recent class of 2025. I'd say, our numbers, they're awesome. I'm really proud of our numbers, proud of our class size. I'd say things to highlight here. I love looking at the number of countries represented. I think that's so much fun. Seeing 40 different countries that's so many, and it's really cool in the classroom. We'll talk more about our global, classroom, what that looks like in the curriculum and the people, but I always think that's really amazing to see the spread of where our students come from. Super fun to see. You can see here, again, the undergraduate field of study. So like I said, yes, 30% come from business, but you got a lot of social sciences, government, econ in here as well. So do know if you are one of these people who did not take all those quant classes, you're not the finance major, you're definitely not alone. All right, moving on here, we also have the Flex MBA program. So this is the in-person Flex program based in DC. So class of 67 this last year. We had almost 50% women. So really proud of that stat. And I think it's also fun to see here, again, 10 countries represented. If you're in the DC area, which I know a lot of you are, you know how global it is as a city. And I think you see that reflected here. All right, and then Flex MBA Online. These are my people. Actually, this is not my class, but still, I was a Flex MBA Online student, so I will claim them. Again, 10 countries represented. Super cool. Love to see that. And again, strong female representation as well. Beyond the numbers, as you're looking at these, you're thinking, oh gosh, my test score isn't quite there. Oops, sorry. There we go. My GPA isn't in there, that kind of thing. Do you know that we expect some people to fall above in one area and below in another? That's how it goes. We want a diverse class. We want people from all different kinds of industries, all different type of undergraduate fields of study. That's what makes the classroom rich, and really adds to that experience. So that's important to us. And then certainly we're looking for the qualities in our applicants too. So we're looking for critical thinkers. We're looking for people with an executive presence, people who are driven and excited to dive into a transformational experience. All right, finances. So this is our tuition listed there. You can see it for each different program. For all of our programs, we're able to offer scholarships. We're really proud to be able to do that, always trying to get more funding for our incoming classes. So you can see for our full-time class, 52% of our students received a scholarship last year to join us. So again, really happy to be able to make it more accessible for students. You can see down here some of the organizations we work with to offer opportunities, and some of that is in terms of scholarship funding. Some of it is like you're awarded a consortium fellowship, and then you get all of these amazing benefits that come with it. So really cool opportunities. I'd suggest you look at those on our website. We don't have time to dig into all of them, but they're there for you. And the biggest question I get, especially at this time of year, is there still funding available? So at this point, when we are in round 3, moving into our rolling period, which we'll talk about in a moment, the question, is what's left. So I'll say that we admit knowing that we're going to have rock stars coming in rounds 3 and beyond. So there is still funding available, and all of our students will be evaluated for it when they apply to the program automatically. We tell people if you're thinking about next year, if you're looking ahead, if you're ahead of the game right now, then we do say that priority consideration goes to those in early action in round 1. So I will say there's more funding available in the earlier rounds, which makes sense. But that's not to say that there's nothing left for round 3 and beyond. All right, so rolling admissions deadlines. So these are pretty much hot off the presses. I think we just finalized them recently. So they look a little confusing here. The main thing here, the deadlines and notifications, deposits, all of that is carefully crafted to understand kind of where you're coming from. So for people who have to apply for visas, obviously their timeline is a little bit shorter because of that processing time. So that's why we have international versus domestic. Yeah, we're still rolling. So at this point, our round three, the deadline has passed. We're evaluating those right now, getting ready for decisions in early May. But we still have room in the class. I'd say there is still time to apply. There's still time to craft a competitive application. And yeah, we know that there's going to be rock stars coming in over the rolling period. We always have people every year where we're like, where was this person? We've been waiting for them, and here they are. And it's awesome to see. So for me, what I would recommend if you're considering the rolling period or if you're in that spot, I know a lot of times we get applicants who are trying to decide if they should do the rolling period or wait for round one of the next year. I think the thing to consider is a few dimensions. So first of all, are you ready to submit the application? Are you going to have to scramble to take a test? Is it going to be super stressful? Are you really busy with work or honestly with like summer plans at this point? That's something to consider. Something to consider too is, are you at a point where you don't want to wait another year? So we start in the fall. So are you at a point where you're like, you know what? I don't want to wait until fall 2027. That's too far away at this point. So I want to go ahead and push and do it now because a year can be a long time. A lot can happen in a year. The other thing to consider too is, are you, going to be ready to start the program in early August? At this point, you still got some time to prepare and get things ready, but maybe if you are like at a point where like you're getting married over the summer or you have a lot of big trips planned, you want to consider, are you really going to be in a positive place to really start the program, come August? So a couple of things to consider there. Oh, the other thing I would recommend too is I get people who say, oh, I'm not sure if my application is competitive enough, so I think I might wait. The other thing to consider too is that reapplicants are looked on very fondly. So what would happen, like let's say your application didn't work out, you were not admitted, you get reapplicant coaching over the summer, we waive some of the requirements, we waive the application fee. So if you do come back to us in the fall, we do try to streamline the process and make it easier for you. So reapplicants are never looked at, it's a good thing. It tells us you're that much more committed to the program, you're excited about it. So it's not a bad thing to be a reapplicant if it comes to that. All right, so staying connected with us. We'll bring this up again later, but idea here is that, we want to stay engaged with you. We are here to help you as admissions team members. We've still got current students here. They don't graduate till mid-May, so they're still around, can answer your questions for you, and definitely we'll still have events as we go through the spring. All right, before we switch to the program, I want to do a quick pause and see if anybody has any application process related questions. Happy to answer those. It's going twice. Oh yeah, scholarships. So scholarships are merit-based, they are not need-based. Great question. Oh yeah, questions about 2027 essays. Yeah. Will they change? Great question. We start evaluating that over the summer, so I don't have an answer for you yet. What we actually do is pull a list. Because we have three options, we always pull a list and see how many people answered each question and see if people aren't really resonating with one of them, and then we'll kind of evaluate if it's time to get rid of that one. So TBD, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you yet. I wouldn't start your essays until the new application is announced, just because I would imagine that'd be pretty frustrating if you had to make a pretty big pivot on your essay. So applications open for fall 2027. Typically it's in like early August, late July. So we've got some time here. We're still evaluating things, not quite ready to launch all of that information yet. And is there a scholarship process? Yeah, so you're evaluated automatically for all of our scholarship opportunities when you apply. So you don't have to submit anything extra. It's just what's based in the application. We have a few extra questions for some of our scholarships if you want to fill those out, but otherwise nothing special you have to submit. Yeah, a question about what does the timeline look like for an international student for fall 2027? Yeah, so for fall 2027, yeah, you've got some time. I would recommend rounds one or two. Those are our biggest rounds for international students because by the time you get your decision and submit your deposit, that will time out best for when the portal opens for our international students to start submitting their I-20 and all of the documentation that comes with that. Cool. Early action. Yeah. So we didn't touch on that. I don't think we had the slide in there today on that based off of where we are in the cycle right now. So early action is for people who know they want to, awesome. Yeah. So early action is for those who are committed to Georgetown. They know they want to attend Georgetown. If they get in, they're done. They're tapping out of the application process. They're with us. So that's who early action is designed for. So that is the first round. It's in September. It feels like a lifetime ago at this point. And yeah, really cool scholarship opportunity there. So we have the Dean's Fellowship, which is yeah, really cool scholarship opportunity. And then you get really neat like mentorship opportunities from the dean of the MBA program. So she does some like uh sessions with you, like you get to do some other work with alumni. So really cool to look through that. But yeah. And a question about, will it hurt my application if you qualify to opt to waive the test scores? No. So, and clarification on the test waiver, it's for people who have not taken the test. If you have test scores, we do expect you to submit them. So, if you qualify for the test waiver, though, based off of your background, there's enough background that we've seen in your resume as well as your transcript that we are confident that you can handle the academics without having that test score. So, it wouldn't hurt you. I'd say it can be one more place for you to shine. So if you are a good test taker, that's one more place for you to stand out, perhaps, and that might make you qualified for scholarships again. But I'd say it would kind of depend on like your GPA, that kind of thing, your background. So to understand, like it certainly won't hurt you, but there could be additional opportunities for you to stand out if you take the test. Okay, cool. And then I see we have questions about the curriculum, which don't you worry, I'm going to cover those right now. So we'll pivot to those and then happy to come back to that if I don't answer a question. Okay. All right, one more Q&A. Ooh, interesting. Oh, I've never been asked this before. Whoa, great question. What are common reasons people do not get accepted into the program? Fascinating. Let's see. Common reasons. I think the biggest thing, a couple big things. That sounded dramatic. It didn't mean it to be. Sorry. A couple of things that come to mind here are they're not academically qualified. So we see someone where there's just not enough quantitative evidence to make a case for them. Our job is to set people up for success and that they will be successful in the program. They will thrive here. They will do well in the quantitative classes and they're rigorous. I've lived through it now. I can tell you, accounting, finance, they're no joke, right? So we want to make sure that you're qualified for it. You're going to do well here. Other thing too is like work experience. We want people who come to us with a great career. They've been out for a little bit. Again, they're not right out of undergrad, that kind of thing. They're people who've lived a little and had a career and they're ready now to kind of level up there. So I think those are the areas sometimes I'd say most common reasons why I see people. I can't admit them, which is always a bummer. Okay, awesome. All right. So let's pivot here. If you think of more questions, feel free to chat them in, or always happy to do a one-on-one chat with people too. You've got the link there. Oh, yeah, one more question on early action. Does it offer a binding option only? It is binding if you are admitted. Yeah. Awesome question. Okay, let's do it. Why Georgetown McDonough? So Georgetown McDonough, amazing program. I can say again, I've been on the staff side, I've been on the student side. Our program delivers the skills you need to to address business challenges, emerge as an effective leader. It's a transformational program where you're really going to come out a new leader with a new perspective and a new way to make an impact at your organization. So we talked a little bit about the global mindset, but many of our students we saw the list of countries, but many of our students come to us having a international background, whether they studied abroad, they are from a different country, and truly the conversation within the classroom then has a global perspective to it. So whether it's woven into the curriculum, whether you're talking about like a global multinational company, or just getting a perspective of someone who's worked in a different industry in a different country is fascinating and it makes the classroom experience super rich. Our program in the curriculum, we introduce the global perspectives on ethics, on responsible AI use, and perspectives on leadership. So helping you think beyond the domestic marketplace from the very beginning of the program. All of our students do the global business experience. I got to do it. Happy to chat about my experience later on. But all of our students are getting through the program and getting to consult with an international client and then actually travel there in the country at the culmination of the program. And then there's a lot of opportunities to travel. So there's international treks. There's on the fall and the spring breaks, there's opportunities to travel internationally if you want to meet alumni, employers, learn about industries in another country as well. Washington, D.C., an awesome city. I love that picture. Such a powerful picture there to see the Capitol in the background, but truly a global city. I don't know if well, actually, a lot of you are from the D.C. area, so you can speak to it too. But we've got embassies, we've got organizations like the World Bank, the IMF, we've got multinational companies here. So truly a really global city and offering that really rich environment to do your MBA in. So you've got access to amazing speakers who come to campus. Again, because of where we are, we get like lots of US presidents. It's really cool to see the list. Really amazing like public policy leaders, but also getting really cool industry speakers as well. Like we've had people from Estee Lauder, Chipotle. I remember there was one event where the line was wrapped around the building because it was a exec from Chipotle. He brought chips and salsa with him, as you would imagine. Really cool. So they're often in our building, these amazing opportunities that are unique to Washington, D.C., I'd say, because of that concentration of multinational companies, as well as, being the capital certainly gives us some really cool access too. And then considering based of where we are in the East Coast corridor, super close to cities like New York, really easy to pop up for an interview, that kind of thing, which you'll see a lot of our students go into finance, and a really great concentration of alumni in the area and on the East Coast as well. And then cool opportunities to get out in the DC city. So one I see a lot of buzz about, I think we've been really excited to promote is the Small Business Corps, which is an opportunity to consult with local businesses, small businesses in the DC metro area. We had students doing consulting services on like financial strategy, operational guidance, market analysis, all with small businesses in underserved areas across the DMV. So really cool that you get to go out into the community. You're not just in that Georgetown bubble. You really get to tap into the city network. And then leadership, obviously any MBA program is going to help you develop as a leader, but at Georgetown, we really take that ethical approach to it. So you're developing the kind of individual who is a thought leader. It's someone who really takes a values-based approach to leadership. So with the restructured MBA program that we're launching this fall, which we'll talk more about in a little bit, it continues with that Jesuit-influenced values-based leadership in the core coursework. So we have that ethical global decision-making component, talking about how to use AI ethically and explore fields of the future like sustainability, healthcare, and the future of work as well. You get to develop in a series of leadership courses. So one of the ones I like to highlight and is actually really relevant because of the week that we're in is the leadership communication course. So actually it culminates in what we call the executive challenge, which will be held this Friday. So this one is all about developing as a leader with a focus on the team. So you're learning to, be relevant in terms of, it's like an experiential day-long course where you get to connect with alumni, do a whole boardroom simulation. Really cool opportunity. I heard we have the most amount of volunteers that we've ever had this year, which is so cool to see. It's going to be really buzzing on campus this week. I'm super excited to see that. Awesome. So our campus. So it sounds like a lot of you are local, so we'd love to have you on campus. Feel free to join us. But you can see here, I love this picture here of one of our big buildings on campus. This is Healy. And you can see the Washington Monument in the background. So we are right in the heart of it all in DC. But what's cool is that we have our own little campus, our own little space here. You can see our building, the Herveri building. It's big, it's beautiful, really nice, vibrant building that we get to be in. So our campus is really accessible. We're in Washington, D.C., in Georgetown. It's super connected. We've still got buses that take us around. It's quite easy to get to campus. I'm really I love the fact that we're on the main campus. So you get that campus energy. You're not on like a satellite campus or anything like that. You're in the heart of it all, which means it's really easy to access all of the other resources on campus and tap into those amazing schools like the law school, the foreign service, public policy. They're all right across the way on that main campus. So in our building, you can see here, it's a great co-working space, a lot of open booths, really conducive to group work and spending time on campus to work on those projects together. You've got the Career Center in our building. You've got all of your professors there as well. So all kind of in that home in Hariri. You don't have to go far, even for coffee, things like that, all on campus, which is very convenient. And then for our part-time students, there is reduced price on parking if you are here coming in from work. And yeah, awesome. Okay, so among our suite of programs, we have the full-time program. So that one is designed for people who are pulling themselves out of the workforce, going all in full-time as a student. You've got the Flex MBA program that is designed for working professionals in DC. So you're still keeping your job, but attending class in person in the Hariri building that we just looked at. And then the Flex Online programs, again, those are my people. So those are people who are remote, not necessarily in the DC area. So for that program, there's a virtual component to the classwork, and then also there's an asynchronous virtual component, and then you're meeting synchronously on Zoom as well. So kind of a mix of both worlds. This one, again, you could be in the DC area and do the online program. But for example, I work remotely from Ohio, so that was the right program for me. Across all of them, you'll see it's the same credits. I can tell you for the Flex Online program, I had professors who were teaching my classes and were teaching the full-time students during the day. So you see same classes, same professors. The differences really are in like the delivery, whether you want to work full-time or go in person. And then there's a few other like nuances there, but we'll talk about in a moment. For all of them, you get to do the global business experience. For the Flex MBA program, we have a few extra residencies as well, so that we get to connect as a class, which was really fun. All right, so we will. Oh, yeah. So I want to take a minute to talk to about the new curriculum. So with the new curriculum, oh, yeah, sorry. I was making sure I didn't miss anything on on the program. Or actually, we'll talk about the new curriculum in a moment. Okay, so the global business experience, again, we all get to complete that. I got to do mine this summer. It was amazing. I got to go to Portugal. I consulted with it was a coffee company. We did a whole market pitch on how they could enter the US. It was one of the top coffee companies, espresso companies in Portugal. Got to try the coffee. It was delicious. It was great fun. So you can see the list of companies we've worked with in the past, as well as locations. Our students get to go all over the world. And again, you're doing that consulting project at home for a couple of weeks with that international client. You're literally scheduling meetings with them, getting advising from your professor on the project. And then again, you get to travel there in country and present to the executives when you get there. So super fun to travel with your classmates. Georgetown coordinated some amazing opportunities while we were there. So tours of companies. For example, for us in Portugal, they coordinated a tour of one of the tile companies that makes like the really beautiful tile facades that they have in Portugal. So that we got to go on the floor and see like what they were working on, people hand painting the tiles. They said they never let people on the floor because their new designs are like top secret. So such a unique opportunity that you would not get as just a tourist in a country that Georgetown was able to coordinate for us. So really amazing opportunity from a like post MBA opportunity standpoint. You get to try out these skills, and also just from like a personal standpoint, so much fun to travel with your friends to one of these locations. All right, network. You're getting access to an amazing group of alumni. Again, I just highlighted the executive challenge. We have the most amount of volunteers that we've ever had. So cool to see. It's a group of alumni who are excited to give back. They got that helping hand when they were in the program, so they are excited to turn around and help you out as well. you're joining not just the McDonough alumni, you're joining all of Georgetown University alumni. So when I log in, for example, to like the alumni portal that the Career Center offers, it's not just McDonough MBA alumni. You can contact alumni from all across the university. They're excited to give back and help you. So I encourage you to think at that full number. And certainly, the countries represented among our class are phenomenal. So alumni are excited to give back through that executive challenge, through Hire a Hoya. So they're always saying, like, do you have opportunities at your company? Are you ready to, do you want to hire more MBAs? Do you want to make those connections with us, or maybe providing mentorship opportunities? And always hosting more and more alumni networking events as well. We've had really cool opportunities through our dean has been working on the Empower Her events. So she has a whole like women's alumni group that does sessions. They've done like New York, Miami. They've gone all over with these sessions. And we've been really excited to be able to offer invites for prospective students. So yeah, really awesome group of people who are excited to give back, which is great to see. We've had really cool, also as a student, I can say a lot of alumni come back and do like talks in our classes, which has been really fun to see too. All right, and then the community piece. Certainly, we always talk about like the three pillars in the MBA program. You've got the professional piece, you've got the academics, and obviously the student piece. So that's the fun part, I'll say. We have really great, really rich group of clubs on campus. We've got like over 40 clubs, actually 50 plus student organizations that you can join. We've got both professional as well as affinity, and then social clubs too. So professional being like the finance club, the consulting club. They're the ones who will help you with career events. They will coach you on how to apply to the right internships, find the right opportunities, do that like case prep, that kind of thing. You've got affinity clubs, centered around a particular identity, like out at MSB, Black MBA Association, and then definitely the social clubs, like the Wine Society, that kind of thing. So I'd say, especially for our full-time students, they join a whole long list of clubs, and Flex MBA Online, you see a little more focused, if you will, just because of the many demands on your time, but still able to get involved and have that, another dimension to your MBA program. All right. So additional opportunities that are fun to highlight, I'll say, the dual degree options. So again, tapping into those amazing schools on campus, public policy, school of medicine. We've got study abroad opportunities for our full-time students. Really cool opportunities there. I think some people are hesitant to pull themselves away from campus. Just 2 years goes by fast. But I've heard of people who've done them and still been successful with their career recruiting. They said they were doing some interviews at odd times in Paris, but they made it happen. They ended up with really cool post-MBA opportunities. So really neat there. And then I like to highlight the centers and initiatives as well on campus. So the ones I think are well, they're all really awesome, but I'll say Entrepreneurship Initiative, for example. So many fun things happening there if that's something you're interested in. I was able to take a class with Jeff Reed, who runs the Entrepreneurship Initiative. And gosh, it's so fun to see the amazing startup ideas that have been pitched by Georgetown alum, not just the MBA alum, but he supports the entire campus. So amazing buzz, really neat, great opportunities through these organizations. All right. So let's take a moment now for real to talk about the new curriculum. So we are launching that this fall. This will be the first class who gets to take advantage of it. Super excited for it. So the intention with this is based on insights from employers, alumni, faculty, students, all of the above, all the main populations, if you will. And the idea is to make sure that it meets the demands of the business landscape. So new things that you'll see, the new curriculum emphasizes, leadership, communication, decision-making skills, that strategic mindset, while integrating things like AI, analytics, and that digital literacy into the core and the elective courses. So it ensures, every MBA student is leaving with an analytical skill set. They're equipped to navigate that data-driven, like technology-driven environment. So all of our students will be starting in the fall with a new AI module in the opening term. So they'll understand how to use AI ethically, how to use it strategically, how to look at the biases, the shortfalls of AI, and how to use it or not use it in a business context. So AI and analytics, again, becoming part of the core curriculum. So we've had it for many years in some format, but now it's a required component for everyone, which I think is awesome. So we are embedding it in classes like, data visualization, healthcare data and analytics, business forecasting. So you'll see it in some of the electives as well, which I think will be really exciting. We also have the AI Analytics and the Future of Work initiative on campus. So it's one of our designated fields of the future that one of our School of Business dean has designated fields of the future where kind of we're growing and the areas that we think we're going to need business leaders with a fluency in those areas in a few years. So that's one, obviously. And through that initiative, we're having like speaker series, panel debates, and things like AI hackathons that we've been having on campus. And then we also have what's cool is a faculty AI committee who's sharing use cases, classroom application, best practices of how to use it in the classroom. So with all that being said, we have the full-time curriculum laid out here. It looks like most of you are interested in that one. So this is a 2-year full schedule that you would take. So you can see you start with those core classes, and then you have areas to personalize it. So you see here where you have just generic core written. Those are the areas where you get to pick kind of which area you want to specialize in. And electives, you get to pick those as well. You'll see you've got a lot of areas to kind of tailor the degree to match your interests before you get to that summer internship. So I think that's crucial in that you're building those skills before you even get to that internship so you can really make the most of it once you're there. Once you get back from your summer internship, we talked about that global business experience. That's sort of the culmination of the program that happens in the spring semester. And then we talked too about that fall break. Here you can see in the fall where you can do those treks that we talked about, those trips with your class. All right, for your Flex MBA program, again, this is designed for working professionals. So you'll see you're taking less classes at a time, understanding that you'll be working full-time while you're doing it. In the Flex MBA program, I like to highlight the intensive learning experiences. So these are classes, and full-time students can take them as well. But for the Flex MBA program, they're nice because you get a full 3-credit course in like a week, or sorry, 2 weeks for the 3 credits. So you can get a lot of credits in a short amount of time. Some people really like them for that. It's 2 crazy weeks, then you're done. For other people, it can be, for me, I know I'm a mom, I have 2 little kids, so 1 intense week was kind of a lot, honestly. In some ways, it was easier to spread it out. But what's cool about the intensive learning experiences is that they're really unique topics. So I got to take like mutual funds, ILE. I got to take one that was called Design Your Life and the Science of Positivity with Evelyn Williams. So really interesting topics, but a nice way to knock out some credits in a short amount of time. You'll see here too that your global business experience happens in the summer of your 2nd year, and then you get to come back, take your electives, and then you're done. For the Flex MBA program, you can condense it down to 2 years is the quickest you can do it, and then lengthen it out to 5 years. So I've seen people do both. So the 2 credits can feel like a lot. You're taking a lot of credits at a time while working full time, but it can be done. And then for the 5 years, I've seen people do that to maximize like employer benefits that they get, and or they just have really demanding jobs, and that's what works better for them. So you've got some flexibility there on when you register for your classes to match what's going on in your life. I also knew a colleague who actually was getting married during the program. So she chose to take like a whole mod off, didn't register for any classes so that she could just enjoy that time. She knew she was going to be really busy, and then she came back and took extra credits when she came back. So I think it's nice to have that flexibility. Again, like 3 years is a long time, a lot can happen. So if you're planning a wedding or something else is going on, you've got that flexibility, which is nice. All right, and then Flex MBA online program, similar situation. Here, what's unique is that you've got those residencies. So you've got a residency at the beginning of your program. So everybody travels into DC together. You get to meet all of your peers. It's so much fun to meet everybody. You get to see them again in that 2nd fall semester, and then in your global business experience where you travel together. So I think it's really intentional. They have those areas to make connections as a class in person. You still get to have that in the online classes, which I think is awesome, but getting that in person is just really fun. With the Flex MBA online program, so the way it works is that you do asynchronous components to the class on your own time. And then typically for most of our classes, we have classes 8 to 9:20 p.m. We have some classes that go the full 6:30 to 9:20, but it's a good mix of both, I'd say. Primarily, it was the 8 to 9:20 classes, but some of the electives are the full 3 hours. I thought it was a really nice schedule. Again, I have two little kids, so for me, it was great to be able to come home, do the asynchronous on my own time, and then, have dinner with my family, see them, hang out, see my kids, and then do a quick class later on that night. So that schedule worked really well for me. I also know, like I mentioned, you can still do it when you're in DC. I know some of my colleagues were in the DC area and they traveled a lot for work. So you could see, you could see like in their background on Zoom, like they'd be in a different hotel because they were consultants and they traveled. So they couldn't be committed to campus, every Tuesday or Monday, Wednesday for class. So I've seen people in the DC area kind of do a mix of both, where they do some online classes, they do some in-person stuff, just based off their schedule. Awesome. All right, the Career Center. So I know our students are here too. So let's quickly go through the Career Center information, then we'll switch over. All right, we've got a message from the Career Center, so we will let that go. Hi, everyone. My name is I'm really excited. Wait, I just realized, can you hear this or do I need to share my sound? Oh, not when you mute yourself. Sorry. Oh, it's like I've never used Zoom before. So sorry, team. Let's try again. Today to tell you a bit about the McDonough Career Center and how we support MBAs. Today we're going to discuss our summer career curricula and onboarding, our industry and function expertise, and our career coaching model, which is personalized to you. So let's start at the beginning, the summer start. I think something that's really exciting about McDonough and the MBA experience is even before you start, we engage you in a lot of things you need to have at the ready for your career search. So starting in early summer or late spring, we launch the summer career course, and that will include asynchronous modules, so short videos that you can watch at your own pace. We'll have suggested deadlines for certain deliverables that you can achieve, and you'll get feedback along the way, including really amazing resources. Our full-time MBA students will also have the opportunity for a 1-hour first coaching appointment before school starts, and everyone, full-time and flexible MBAs, will have an employer-ready resume before school even begins. We want to make sure that when you get started with your MBA, you have a lot of these tasks taken care of already, so you can launch into your learning and use the school year really efficiently. When you are a student at McDonough, we support you along the way, and you can access coaching and resources to help you develop your career portfolio, which includes resumes, cover letters, your pitch, your tell me about yourself, how you communicate with others. We help you discover your industry, function, and geography targets, because the better targets and more you know about what you might want to do, where you might want to work, the easier it is to run a really amazing job search. And we help you develop a target company list. We have employer access on campus, off campus, lots of events where you can introduce yourself to employers and learn about target companies. And we have networking tools and resources that you can use to access our alumni population and make sure that you're really finding those hidden opportunities. Our team is wonderful. We have 6 industry practice leads that support our MBA population. We have Maureen, and I'll just move my circle so you can see. Maureen supports the financial services and real estate students. Asha supports our education, energy, clean tech, government, international development, and social impact students. Sarah is our consulting specialist along with Margot. Keisha helps with the CPG, retail, hospitality, and more students, and Nina supports technology and healthcare. And one thing I want to say about these 6 amazing people is that not only are they meeting with students and providing guidance to students, but they're also meeting with employers. So one thing that's really special about the McDonough model is that we're a hybrid approach where all of our industry practice leads know exactly what's happening in the industries of interest, because they're talking to employers all the time. So you're getting real-time updates about what's going on in your industries. So here's some data, MBA career coaching by the numbers.
We had 399 employer events. We just needed one more to hit 400 in last year's academic cycle, posted nearly 2,000 internship and job postings, and had nearly 6,000 coaching appointments. Now, coaching appointments are with those six amazing individuals you saw on the last screen. We also this year have 38 peer advisors, which are full-time second-year MBAs who have been trained to meet with students, and we have contract coaches as well. So we have a lot of support and events and job postings for students to enjoy. Some outcomes you might like to take a look at here. Our most recent internship class. So this is the class of 2026, and these are their internships they had in the summer of 2025. And you'll see some interesting information there. Financial services was the highest in terms of percentage industry where our students interned, followed by consulting and then social impact and government. And our fourth highest was technology. Usually technology is in the top three, but the internship hiring was a little bit down this year. And you'll see the average salary there as well. For our full-time folks who just graduated, their outcomes are on the screen for you. Our top industries were consulting, financial services, and technology. And you can see the average salary, the average bonuses. 78% of this class received an offer within 3 months of graduation. And before I leave you today, I'd love for you to think about the possibilities. And we have 4 amazing examples of 2025 graduates on the screen. The top 3 were full-time MBAs who changed industries, ended up in roles they were really interested in, coming from CPG, going to consulting, and so on. We have a veteran here who went into health care pharma, and then the student on the bottom, or the alum at the bottom, had 3 different roles throughout her time as a flexible MBA, really taking the skills and the knowledge that she gained at McDonough into elevating her career at her company. And think about the possibilities for yourself, what your goals are, how to approach them, and just know that the McDonough Career Center is here to partner with you as you see the possibilities in your journey. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. So we already looked at these. We won't spend too much time on them, also because I know our students are here to help us out. But I'd encourage you to look at the employment report online to get the full perspective there, dig into the data. We've got really cool also specializations on like the Flex MBA program outcomes. Our first Flex MBA online class will be graduating this year in May, so we should have really great data on them soon. I can say anecdotally, I know a lot of my peers have had promotions, changed jobs. So again, 3 years is a long time. A lot can happen during that time. So I'm really excited to see the stats and see the actual career outcomes super soon. So with that, we'll pivot to our current student panel. So I'd love to invite them to join us. We'll get going. Thanks for waiting for me. I babbled too much, I guess. Thanks for your patience. Cool. Well, I'll let you all introduce yourself. Tell me, I guess, where you were before MBA, and yeah, let's start with that. You can just go left to right if you want. Thanks.
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Narbi. I'm a first year online MBA student. I'm a Forte Fellow and a MAC Fellow, as well as a student ambassador. I'm currently pursuing a certificate of healthcare. So my background is in biomedical engineering, and I work for Philips and their hospital patient monitoring. So like I said, I come from a very technical engineering background, but post MBA, I'm hoping to transition into more of a strategic leadership role, hopefully, and pivot into marketing. So if you have any questions about anything I said, happy to chat. You can also put it in the chat.
Thanks.
Hi, everybody. I'm Margine Conlin. I'm a first year Flex student. I currently work for Georgetown University in their fundraising department. I work on direct marketing for the medical academic units. And at post MBA, I'm kind of looking to move into corporate social responsibility, social marketing, or nonprofit operations. And within the MBA program, I also serve as the Flex liaison for the Graduate Women in Business Club, and I am on the Flex Student Government Association as well.
Thanks, Marjane. I'm Neonika, and I am basically from India and moved to the US 2 years back for my MBA. But prior to the MBA, I've had about 7 years of work experience in tech consulting, followed by the impact sector consulting world, where I worked with nonprofits, international development agencies. So a bit of a mix of consulting experience. And I am graduating this year, going back into consulting, but the business side of it. So I will be, it's just so surprising to be graduating in less than a month now, but happy to be here and happy to answer any questions that you may have about the full-time MBA program and or recruiting into consulting, or anything that you would want to know from me. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks. I love that we have representation from each program. That's perfect. All right, so to kick it off, why don't we talk about why did you choose to pursue an MBA at Georgetown specifically? And I guess why an MBA too?
Okay, I can go first. So I think for me, I got to the point in my career where as I was reflecting, I realized that the next step in my career is really to step into some sort of like a leadership position. And in order to do that, I knew I needed a business acumen. But I was also now willing to quit my job and just go to school full time. Because especially being in the healthcare field, there's a lot happening day to day. So it was really important that I stayed with my current company and learned all the regulations and standards that are coming out. But again, I didn't want that to prevent me from getting an MBA. So that's why I ended up choosing the Flex online program.
I knew I wanted to get an MBA, kind of the same as Nardi. I was looking to move into a leadership role in terms of my, work progress, and then also was looking to change industries and fields. So knew the MBA would be beneficial. And in terms of Georgetown, I like that they placed a lot of emphasis on the global experience, a lot of emphasis on the community. And I think being in DC, in the nation's capital, you have, so many more opportunities here.
I am from India, so I wanted to, and I think I was at a point in my career back home where I started to lead some teams, smaller teams. But what I was missing is the diversity component, and I really wanted to explore what it would be like to have a global career. And that was something that I'd always dreamt of, an education abroad, specifically an MBA after 7 years of working with different kinds of teams, but pretty homogeneous teams for the most parts. MBA was like the perfect time to sort of take a pause in your career and reflect upon all your experiences and also expand your um, learnings in so many ways, like unlearning and learning when you move to a new geography. And it has been a great experience so far. And why Georgetown for me specifically, I think I've had a mix of private and public sector experience back home. And I wanted to, and I think across both sectors, I've realized that it's important to be well versed in, yes, the business acumen that Nardi was talking about, but also how do you really move a team forward. So many soft skills are really difficult to learn by um experimenting all the time. So I thought business school would be a good 2 year focused trial and error, rather than like me trying and failing or succeeding over a long period of time. So like really a fast track way of kind of getting some good practices under your belt. It was these two reasons, and a mix of Georgetown being a very good program which balances out between public and private sector, and especially it being in DC, I wanted to be close to the public sector for my long-term vision. Right now, I'm going into a very I think, capitalistic side of business, and far, far away from the public and social impact side of things. But I think Georgetown really did a great job at mixing the two, and bringing in the business and impact side of things while evaluating every case that we did on campus or every engagement that we had.
That's great. Yeah, and I can relate to the, safe space to kind of experiment as a leader and even like little things like a presentation and how are you gonna I don't know, like prepare for different cases, scenarios, that kind of thing. It's definitely yeah, a unique part of the experience. All right, I'm curious, coming off the career video there that we had, what resources you've used from the Career Center so far, or if you have, maybe as a part-time student.
I can go first. Let me reverse the order this time. I think I have definitely used all the coaching appointments, both offered by the career coaches, and coming into the MBA program, I was sort of debating and leaning more towards technology because I'm also an engineer by, my undergrad degree, and early career was in tech. But then I think it was initially after a couple of conversations with the career coaches, they were like, you know what, tech is probably not the best market right now. So while it's good that you have those ambitions, I think keep applying, but also diversify and consider consulting because your background has always been in consulting and it's a good career to have post MBA as a finishing school. So I think that advice early on as I was entering into the program was really, really helpful, especially in the markets that we're currently in, to diversify my approach to recruiting before the summer internship season, which comes really quick right when you enter into the first year of your program. So career coaches was definitely something I leveraged. Then peer advisors. I'm a peer advisor now. I was one of 38 from Laura's video. But I think my peer advisors from when I was in my first year, that was another fantastic resource where I could do mock case interview, mock behavioral interview, or just resume review early on to kind of tailor it to the industry that I was trying to pivot into. Was really, really helpful. So career coaches and peer advisors were two. And then I think Laura did mention about some coaches who were also contractual coaches. Some of them are like fantastic. Randall Tacker is one of them who really does a great job at resume reviews and cover letter reviews, and so hands-on with you while doing it. So that was another resource that I heavily, heavily relied on. And
I can go next. I haven't utilized the Career Center much, given that I, just started my program and, I'm shooting kind of for the 3-year track. So I actually just scheduled my first meeting with them. But I have gone to different events they had. They had an event a couple of weeks ago with the consulting club, kind of where they talked about that and the recruiting and tracks that would go on. And I know from like some of my classmates that are more on looking to graduate in 2 years, they found the Center especially helpful in terms of, resume prep, job interview prep. And I know they have things that go as far as like negotiation once you've been offered a job as well.
Same. I've had limited interaction with the Career Center, but I would say I did take advantage of the summer career course. I was able to update my resume to make it more fitting into like the Georgetown template. I was also able to prepare my tell me about yourself, which is sort of like an elevator pitch, and I always have that in hand whenever I go to like interviews or like networking events, anything like that. I've also met with, the career coaches to see how I can position myself so that later on it's easier for me to pivot into the marketing role I want. So I've been able to customize my resume, even though I'm not actively applying right now. I have everything ready to go when the time comes.
Yeah, that's a great note. So with the Flex MBA program as a part-time student, you really, the career prep ramps up, I'd say, in that final year of your program. And because it does look different, but depending on how you're condensing the program, if you're extending it, as soon as you raise your hand to the Career Center, they're all in to help you. But they don't kind of hit you with it right away, I guess, as they do with the full-time program. You know, with the full-time program, you're pulling yourself out of the workforce, so they know they really work with you a lot, I'd say, in the fall and in the summer, certainly. So just the approach is a little bit different as a part-time student, but you know, I can say like from my peers who are graduating this May, I know super engaged with the Career Center. We have access to all the same resources. You know, I'm not recruiting. I love my job. I'm not going anywhere. Can't get rid of me. But I've been able to tinker around and see like, okay, well, what do these platforms look like for current students? Like, what is the data that you can look at? You can look at like average salaries and from different locations and, you know, really cool opportunities and tools that you have access to throughout the entire program. The other thing I'll highlight too is that they also help negotiate promotions and that kind of thing. So as a part-time student, a lot of people are like we saw in that video, they highlighted the woman who had progression in her current company. So they also help you with that. So next question I was going to say was, how has Georgetown helped you feel, you know, included in the community and build community throughout the program?
I can go first. I think that, you know, working for Georgetown and then also going to school to Georgetown is kind of a unique perspective because I've been at my job now for 2 years, in school for a year, and that year where I was just working, not in school, it was very much harder to kind of establish myself within the Georgetown community, given that, you know, obviously the university is so large. And so then once you kind of find this area, you know, within the MSB and the MBA program, you know, it's a little bit smaller. Obviously, you still have all these resources, but it's like small enough to be able to connect with people. And especially as a flex student, I think it kind of is what you make of it. The clubs are definitely flex friendly. I think it's very easy to get involved when you know, want to, and especially taking those ILEs. I haven't had a chance to take the electives yet with the first year schedule being more core focused, but taking the ILEs, you get to meet more students outside of your cohort. Like me and Nardi had an ILE together in this spring. So that's been really beneficial to, you know, integrate yourself within the Georgetown community.
I agree. I think for me, I always joke that even though I'm like a FXO student, that most of my friends are full-time students. And it's because like I try to get involved as much as possible. I've been able to take advantage of like the student organization clubs. So I'm the VP of FX Flex for the Black MBA group. So it's one of the affinity groups we have at here in Georgetown McDonough, and it's been really nice being part of that. We have students from all the different cohorts, but just being able to hang out after school on the weekends, go on trips. I always talk about my Black ski experience, which we did in January. We were able to uh, spend a whole weekend with 30 of the top MBA schools, where we all came together for 4 days. It was a lot of networking, meeting different people, and it just felt like, you know, I had that sense of belonging. I had my community, and yeah, I just bring that up to say you don't know how you're going to find your community at Georgetown, but stay open-minded. And so far for me, it's been the student orgs that have like created that opportunity for me.
Yeah, I think I'll plus one to everything that Marjin and Nardi has said so far. Definitely the student orgs are a great platform to meet not just people from your own cohort, but other cohorts as well and other programs as well, because these clubs are open to all. And so be it a career club or be it you know, fun club, it could be a beer and wine tasting club. You know, you bond over shared interests and you get to meet people from so many different countries and learn about, you know, how um, they enjoy, say, beer in their home countries. So I think it's super nice to be surrounded by such fantastic peer groups from time to time through different platforms, clubs being one of them. We also have a culture of like catching up with every classmate and like the other cohorts who you don't engage with on a day-to-day basis through this thing called kegs, which is keeping Georgetown social. It happens every Thursday typically. Sometimes it also happens on, say, a Wednesday if there's a conflict or something. But that's a great way to kind of end the week. So our study week is usually between Monday to Thursday, and Fridays are typically reserved for everything that you want to do from a career standpoint. And so I think on Thursday evening, everybody is like, you know what, I've done all submissions, deadlines, and now it's just a time for us to get together, have a beer or have wine, some food together, and just chill together. So I think that also really opened up the community to me specifically early on, because you get to know people and meet them every Thursday, if not every day, if they have friends from like other cohorts. So Kegs is a great platform. Clubs are a great platform. And then you also have these yearly events called McDonough Cup, which is a very fun um inter-cohort competition. It's like a sports competition for the most part, but there are also like fun events that happen. And we just wrapped that up last week. It's a week-long uh, sort of like the World Cup, but not World Cup, McDonough Cup. And you have different events every day, and there's like a fun competition between cohorts. So that's a great way to bond with your classmates. We have something called Global Fest, where um, every year we have representation from over 40 countries. We have like their foods being presented, and all of these are students who engage kind of to put that event up. There's food, there's cultural evenings, and so much more. So I think and then again we have travel opportunities. There are these spring and fall treks that we do. So fall I went to Morocco. Some people in spring went to Colombia. So it's a great way to kind of travel with your peers and get to know them beyond their career goals and why they came to an MBA program, and a great way to bond. And all of these things have definitely opened up the community and taught me so much more about um, people, and especially brought me closer to so many wonderful friends now at Georgetown McDonough.
It's awesome. You've been busy. Your passport's probably getting full. That's awesome. All right, we'll do two more quick questions, then we'll let you all go. So, since you're all doing these amazing things, some of you are working, you're doing the community, you're a peer advisor, you've got a lot going on. So, how do you balance your time? I get that question all the time.
I think I would say I'm still trying to find the balance. 2 semesters into my program. And what I would say is kind of what has helped me so far is really having some sort of like a non-negotiable list. So as I was starting this program, I wanted to focus on the program, but I also, have to focus on work. But also networking was, a really big thing for me. I wanted to stay social, get to know people. So I put all of those things into my non-negotiable list, and therefore, as much as possible, I tried to make time for those things, and everything else had to either be removed from the list, or I would have to find some other time to do it. And being a flex online student, I feel like there's a lot of flexibility built into the program. So like Amanda was saying earlier, we have asynchronous classes, which means you can take those classes at any time during the weekend. And therefore, sometimes, I'm only in class 2 times during the week from like 8 to 9:20 p.m. So I have time to do my homework on the weekends, hang out with friends. So it really gives me a lot of flexibility, and I think that's why I've been able to balance my time. But really, I think having like a strong boundary and having knowing some of those non-negotiables are, I think have helped me so far.
Yeah, I agree. I think kind of just evolving is very helpful. I'm also big on planning ahead. So, when I get the syllabus for like each course, I kind of go through and mark when our big assignments are due in my calendar and make sure, big work assignments are in there also. So I know like if something's coming up, I might not have as much time for like social things, or maybe I want to do that prep earlier in the coming weeks so that if there is a big social event, someone's birthday or wedding or something coming up, then I'm able to still engage in those fun life things. I think it's also kind of what Nardi said about like non-negotiables and knowing that you might have to just sacrifice a little bit. Sometimes, I also teach yoga on the side, and so I know like during finals week and leading up to it, I might just have to find a substitute for some of my yoga classes because just during those couple of weeks, that's not the priority. Schoolwork kind of takes more of a priority then. And then, as she mentioned, I think it's just the evolving and looking that you might have to change. So this coming in the fall semester, I'm taking 3 classes in module 2 because I knew module 1, looking at my work schedule, it was going to be too much to have an extra class on top of my work schedule. But then moving into module 2, I'll have a lot of my campaigns submitted and things will slow down a little bit at work. And so that was a good time to take an extra class.
Yeah, I still don't know how Margine, Amanda, Nardi, how you guys do balancing, do balance like work and MBA. I'm sure I wouldn't have been able to do what you guys are doing. So kudos to you guys. I think for me specifically as a full-time student, and somebody who's active on campus, I've always struggled with this. I'm at the end of my second year, but balancing between career, social, and academic, in no particular order, um, and has been definitely something that I've learned along the way. What has helped is definitely for me was time boxing and like just fixing how much time I would want to give to a particular activity, and that changes. Like, if for example it's this recruiting season, like fall semester for me was the recruiting season, recruiting trumped my social and academic commitments, and I'm just being very honest. And I would really question and prioritize everything based on what my focus for that mod or semester was, and then give time based on what that priority list looked like. And so just allocating that, okay, if I have an assignment, am I okay with like a good submission, or do I absolutely want this to be flawless? And therefore, how much time would I want to give to this? 30 minutes versus 2 hours. And then I will allocate the rest of the time to whatever else I have committed to or want. So I think that has been the only way I could like juggle all these different roles. Still learning, but yeah, um, time boxing, I guess, for me.
I feel like that's a very strategic MBA answer. I love it. No, I can totally relate. Like I said, I have 2 little kids, so I was in classes, and a mom on the side, I can totally relate to that idea of like, look, I've got like an hour before bedtime. I've got to knock out this paper, like just get it done. And yeah, that idea too of like non-negotiables, and yeah, really great advice there. So with that, I guess before we say goodbye to you, quick rapid fire, best piece of advice you have. You've got people some have applied, some are looking at next year, maybe, thinking back to where you were at that time when you were applying. Best piece of advice you've got for them. Ready, set, go.
My piece of advice, I guess, would be kind of know what's important for you, like what you want to get out of the program, and kind of how we just mentioned non-negotiables. What are some non-negotiables for you? And then also, it would be kind of just talk to as many people as possible, get as many perspectives. But then take everything with a grain of salt and go back to those non-negotiables and think like, how does their advice or their perspective relate to what you're trying to get out of the program?
Yep, I agree. If you're applying to the program, I would say be specific about your why. Why you want to go to Georgetown, why you're choosing this program, why now. And then after you hopefully you get accepted and start, I would say stay open-minded. Don't limit yourself. I think the program has a lot to offer, but you have to network, you have to get involved, you have to learn what those opportunities are. So do not limit yourself.
Great advice. Plus one to both. And one thing that I heard, which was helpful for me as an overthinker, was take the time you need to decide whatever it is that you're deciding right now, either submitting the application or deciding if you want to do an MBA or not, or if Georgetown or not. Take the time to decide, set those parameters based on which you're going to decide. Um, but after that, once you've decided, don't look back. I think that's the most important piece of advice I received back in the day, which really helped me.
That's a good one. I would kind of echo that plus one, as you say, and say, take the leap. I know for me, I was nervous when I applied. I thought, can I do this? Can I juggle all of these things? It's a really big investment, but I'm really proud of myself for taking the time to do something for me. Not to harp on it, but I am a mom. So kind of my life for a little bit has been focused on my kids and raising my family. And so now it was this really cool moment to invest in myself. And I'm really proud that I did that and invested in it, took the leap and did it. Because it is kind of scary to take on this huge program. And again, you've got all these amazing opportunities you can dive into, but I can say now on the other side, I've got my cap and gown, I'm ready to go, and I'm really proud of myself, really glad that I did it. Well, thank you all for joining. I really appreciate you making the time. And with that, we'll kind of conclude things here. So we spent so much time today. Really appreciate you all joining. Feel free to sign off when you're ready. Um, so today, we talked about the application process. We went through all of the materials that you can submit, how to craft a competitive application. We talked about the program itself. We've heard from our current students. So I know it's a ton of information. So I know you're going to have to mull it over, take it all in. So hopefully this is not, the end. We are here. We're excited to chat with you. We, as an admissions team, always here to chat with you, do one-on-one, coaching sessions, chat with you about your questions. Like I said, the current students are here. So graduation's not until mid-May, and our flex students are always here, really. So you can always get a student perspective. Oh, sorry, let me caveat that. We do get breaks as part-time students, but they don't have to go off and do summer internships where they're really busy. So we're around to chat with you. We've got upcoming events. We still have them going through the spring and the summer. If you are looking at fall 2027, don't you worry, we'll have plenty for you over the summer. So stay in touch with us. And any last minute questions, feel free to chat them in, put them in the Q&A. Happy to address those. I saw one really good question too. I answered it via the chat while we were doing the student panel, but a good question on, does your MBA diploma, does your certificate indicate which program you were in? And it does not. So we all get the same Georgetown MBA certificate. Actually, even the executive MBA program, they get the same one too. So it doesn't say what format you did it in. That just shows you kind of that we're all the same caliber, we're all at the same expectations, number of credits, that kind of thing. So there's no designation for that. Oh, interesting question about what have you seen successful veteran applicants do particularly well in their applications that helps them stand out? Interesting question. Yeah, we are really fortunate. We have a really strong veteran community on campus. McDonough Military Association, phenomenal group. If you haven't connected with them yet, highly encourage you to do so because they love helping our incoming students, our applicants too. So what do they do well in their application that helps them stand out? So I think a couple of things that come to mind are highlighting those leadership opportunities. I'd say for our military applicants, it's wild the amount of people you all are in charge of, the impact, the budgets that you all manage. It's very impressive. So highlighting those successes, those leadership opportunities that you've had, the progression. We're not all experts on military titles. So making sure we can see that progression that you've had in your career. We do our best, certainly, but I think, quite frankly, dumbing it down for us a little bit. We do our best. We see a lot of military applications, but helping us understand the path that you've taken. And then making sure, I'd say in your interview that again, you kind of translate that to like a business setting. So taking those examples that you have from your career, whether it's like projects you worked on, you led, again, like groups that you managed, translating that into like a MBA interview. Again, I know they're line by line questions of what we ask in our interviews. So look them up. Think about how you can translate your experience into a behavioral like MBA interview, so that you're prepared for that. But I will say again, our McDonough Military Association, amazing in coaching our applicants. So I would definitely reach out to them. Okay. Ooh, okay, this is a good question too. So interested about the recruiting options and experience for online students, particularly if you don't live in the DC area. So when there's on-campus recruiting, yeah, do we get to compete? How does that work? Yeah. So what's interesting from what I've heard from the Career Center is that a lot of the a lot of the employer opportunities are still virtual. I'd say since COVID, things look a little bit different. But yeah, online students still get to have access to the same opportunities. I'd say, like someone like Nardi, I think you're in the DC area, so you can actually like come in and go to those more easily. So like they're all open to you. So yeah, definitely have the same opportunities, I'd say. Um, yeah, I don't know. Would you add anything to that?
Um, I think one thing I would add is like most of the student orgs, they usually host like career days.
Yeah.
And as much as possible, right now we're trying to push that they also make it available online, so that the FXO students are also
Mhm.
included. So if there is a specific industry that you're interested in, definitely join those organizations because you will be able to meet a lot of folks. Most of the people that come are Georgetown alum, who've been in the same position as we have.
Mhm.
So you will hear about like recruiting opportunities and things like that. So definitely attend those career day events, even online.
Mhm. And I think from a peer advisor perspective, in terms of online student recruiting.
Um, I think from a resource perspective, of course, peer advisors are always there. The coaches are always available virtually because all the peer advising events and even appointments and or the industry coach appointments are all offered both in person as well as virtual. So I mean, from a support standpoint or prep standpoint, I think you have all the resources at your disposal virtually, just as any full-time student would have at their disposal. Um, and the only place where and most to just add to what you were saying earlier, most of the coffee chats for
Mhm.
traditional industries are usually virtual these days. So if you're a part of those career clubs and are engaging well with the clubs, the second years or the peers who would be leading those organizations will sort of connect you with potential McDonough alumni who you can coffee chat with as you build those relationships, mostly all virtual thanks to COVID. I think that never really went back
Yeah.
in person. The only thing um, that I think at times you might want to think about like coming down to campus for is maybe like any specific company event that you might want to attend, which might only be in person, but I don't see that really impacting your application so much because as long as you're networking with them virtual, which is mostly virtual, and then connecting with career center and peer advisors and your peers virtually to prepare ahead and put in your strong application, I think you will have everything you need, even as a non full-time MBA student at McDonough.
That's awesome. Great advice. Thank you so much. I haven't, I didn't do the recruiting process, so those are good insights. Thank you. Another great question about the cohorts and study groups. So how do students collaborate and experience with your peers? It's a really great student question.
I think I can take that from a full-time student perspective. We have like MBA is like just the classic program to be if you want to explore what it is to like work in groups. Pretty much every mod you will have at least one, if not more, courses where you'll be divided in like groups of, 4 or 5. At least that's what my experience has been. Every second course is a study group involved project, and it's more in the initial years than I would say the elective courses, but mostly it's pretty much every second elective as well. And so most of the time, at least early on, it is assigned. And in the first, at least the first semester, I have seen that they kind of make the groups on their own, because at that point in time, you don't really know your classmates that well and you're still forming those bonds. And they also want to mix it up. So, for a lot of courses, even later in your MBA journey, they will decide who you will be working with. And it's a great opportunity to be collaborating and working and getting to know people who you otherwise probably would have never thought of, interacting with. And from a cohort perspective, the full-time larger cohort is divided into 4 different cohorts. And so we are 263 of us in our class of 2026, and that gets divided into 4 sections, if I may. And so we have Hoya, Blue, Gray, Saxa. I'm a Saxa. And similarly, we have cohorts for the other programs as well. Flex, and I'm guessing Flex Online also has a cohort, right?
We're
Um,
one cohort, yeah.
Okay, okay. Depending on, I think, how big the class is, I guess they divide the cohorts. That would be my hunch. But yeah, pretty much everything you do is in smaller groups that either the school forms or you get to pick and form sometimes if the course is such and the professor allows it.
Yeah, I think it's been fun as an online student. I got to take a fair amount of classes with full-time and flex in-person students. So it was fun being on teams with them to broaden my network. And I remember one time I was visiting campus and I got to see a lot of my flex in-person peers, and it was super fun, like meeting them, giving them a big hug after working on a project with them. So that was really fun too.
Yeah, no, plus one. I think electives are a great
Yeah.
opportunity for you. I mean, for me also as a full-time student to meet like flex students and FX students, which I think had I not taken those electives in those hours, I would have never met some wonderful people that I know today.
Totally. Margie, were you going to say something?
Oh no, I was just kind of echo what you said, Amanda, about being able to meet, some of the full-time students or the Flex Online students as well through once you get into those electives and kind of the group projects you work on there.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I think we're about it on questions here. Um, So yeah, I'd say stay in touch with us. We're here to help you, whether you're applying next year for fall 2027 or considering that rolling application. We're here to coach you through it, help you figure out what option is best for you. Here to fill in the gaps, any questions maybe we missed today, any areas I forgot to talk about. There's so much, so I probably forgot something, I'm sure. But stay in touch with us. Let us know. We can help you and support you on this journey. It's a good one, truly. I'm really happy I did it. I think everyone here would echo the same.
Plus
Awesome.
100.
Plus 100. Aw. Awesome. All right. Well, I'll close it out. I'll hang on here for questions, see if there's any last minute ones. But yeah, thanks so much for joining tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Bye.